My name is Raymond Segovia. I'm here today to announce my candidacy for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3.
His election integrity fight has been big news in the Rio Grande Valley. Raymond Segovia lost his campaign to become a Justice of the Peace in Hidalgo County by just 31 votes. Or did he?
Segovia claims that Trevino's campaign improperly assisted voters.
Segovia sued incumbent Sonia Trevino, claiming she got illegal votes. Her lawyer is Ricardo Salinas, the son of the longtime mayor of Mission, Texas. He wants to follow in his daddy's footsteps, it seems. And that's where the Rio Grande Valley nepotism trail comes next, and is why we're now on a mission to mission.
Good morning, Hidalgo County. This is Marla Cuellar, your candidate for the 275th District Court.
When Segovia's lawsuit was first filed, it ended up in Judge Marla Cuellar's court, the 275th District Court. But there was a real problem. Judge Cuellar, Attorney Salinas, well, they used to be married, but there's clearly no hard feelings.
I'm out here supporting Marla 100% along with everybody else today.
Segovia's lawyer quickly moved to disqualify the judge from the election contest. Her staff knew of the obvious conflict, but days later the judge had simply done nothing to fix it. And while Cuellar eventually transferred the case without recusing, Segovia's lawyer was already complaining the delay had hurt his chances to overturn the election. Salinas had known for years he shouldn't practice in her court.
In light of the fact that we've got these wonderful children together, ethically, legally, I'm not allowed to practice law in her court. And even if I could, even if it looked right, we would never do that.
I'm Judge Marla Cuellar, and we're your Team 275.
Segovia won his court case after a 3-week trial, but all the delays may make it difficult now to change the result, get on the ballot in November. And it's not the first time Judge Cuellar sat on a request to recuse her when the father of her children was a lawyer in a court case. One time, she waited for nearly a year and a half. Right now, there are 2 other court cases in Cuellar's court where Salinas is listed as the attorney of record. There have been no hearings, but there is a 3rd case we found that raises ethical alarm bells that Judge Cuellar has simply chosen to ignore. Why do you call it corruption?
She's completely biased, and we're never going to get a fair ruling out of it. Why is it? Why does she not leave?
Daniel Kamel is part of Black Diamond Developers LP. Little did they know the legal trouble that would come when 4 years ago, they bought the country club and golf course that runs through the Cimarron neighborhood, a 40-year-old neighborhood where the folks with money and mission live. Judge Cuellar, she lives here in the Palazzo at Cimarron, next door, where the even richer people live. She drives past that golf course to get home and was a member of the Cimarron Country Club when Black Diamond came to town to take over. Remember all that as we dig deeper into the ethical conflicts that Judge Cuellar has in this case. And yes, it's her ex again, Ricardo Salinas.
But I'm very tired of the sleepy, lackadaisical attitude that we've taken towards our precious and beautiful Cimarron.
Salinas is now running the social media campaign to save Cimarron. Listen to this phone recording we have.
I give a fuck about the club. My kids were raised there. I've been there all my life.
Because that country club, once home to 650 members, including the city of Mission, is now closed. The space rented by a church. And that golf course, well, it's long gone too.
It's just a catastrophic fucking mess. It's the club. How did they get their hands on it? That's the fucking terrible thing about it.
Do it, because if you don't try, it's not gonna get done.
And in March of last year, it was the father of the judge's children who pled with the city of Mission to join the legal fight.
What we need to do, irrespective of what other lawyers may tell you, is have the courage to intervene in the lawsuit that's pending in the 275th District Court, Mr. Flores.
When we got this property, it was a rundown golf course from a company out of Dallas. They had basically just let it go. And when we came in, we did a lot of work.
But Camille says almost overnight, membership in the country club plummeted by the hundreds after his company had taken over. And the family thinks it was no coincidence.
Yes, the HOA wanted us to go bankrupt so they could come in and buy it for cheap. Yes, that's a fact.
The Camel family made much of their money down in Mexico, and they've got a damaging audio tape from one of the plaintiffs in the Cimarron case.
I will sue the hell out of those New Mexican. Those guys don't know what the hell they're dealing with when they're over on this side of the river. And I will come after them. I will come after them with guns.
He was never going to be a part of a club owned by a group of effing Mexicans. Plain and simple.
Phillips, he referred us to the attorney for the city of Mission. We were curious because the golf course isn't owned by the city, it's private. Quoting, "Do not attempt to contact me again," his text read. This fight is ugly. Without financial help from the neighborhood, Black Diamond shut the golf course down and decided to redevelop the lucrative property with new homes and businesses, including the land between the houses on what used to be fairways. That's when the HOA sued Daniel's brother. And here's something else that deserves further scrutiny. The lawsuit landed in the 206th District Court, Judge Rose Guerra Reyna presiding. But the HOA suddenly asked for a delay in their own lawsuit, and then they dropped it. But that very same day, the HOA filed a brand new lawsuit against Black Diamond. But it didn't go back to Judge Reyna's court like you'd expect it would. It was assigned instead to Judge Cuellar. There's a Texas law that says all cases are assigned randomly in Hidalgo County, a law for that one county because of a long history of corruption. Maybe the HOA just got lucky. You think the fix was in?
Oh yes, of course. Of course. They needed a friendly judge because all the claims...
One of the claims in the lawsuit was that the loss of the golf course would flood the entire neighborhood, including where Judge Cuellar lives. It was one of the reasons Black Diamond filed a motion to recuse her. The family connection was clearly another.
Any reasonable judge would have dismissed this case 2 years ago. Hundreds of thousands of dollars ago would have been dismissed.
Cuellar refused to step down, and even after the motion to remove her, she ruled on 2 motions for summary judgment, both times against Black Diamond. That's a no-no. A retired Judge Arturo Nelson heard the company's protest. He voided Cuellar's orders, but avoided dealing with the relationship problem. Quoting, "Anybody who practices law in Hidalgo County knows that Mr. Salinas has a big ego," the judge said. "A very talented attorney and a big mouth. How that affects his wife, I don't know. But Judge, that's exactly the problem. The Judicial Ethics Code says judges must avoid even the appearance of impropriety." How frustrating is it to go into court in Hidalgo County with a judge that's clearly got ethical issues in this case?
There's nothing you can do. Nothing. Once this court is biased, which it clearly has been since day one, there's nothing we can do.
We file complaints about judges all over the state, and we'll file one in this case if Judge Cuellar doesn't recuse herself voluntarily now. But this investigation, it also took us deep into the city of Mission.
Yeah, your best bet would be call the city because all this is already it's in the city's hands right now, currently.
Larry Fair is president of the Cimarron HOA, and he told us we should call the city attorney. But why? We said the golf course is private. There's a public golf course just a couple of miles away. But folks with those nice houses in Cimarron, well, they vote in big numbers. And folks who run for office in Mission, well, they know it. This recording, an HOA meeting with candidates, the mayor promising to keep the golf course open. Councilman Ruben Plata even lives in Cimarron.
I love Cimarron. It is one of the marketing tools for Mission. It would not help us to change anything there.
Plata has since filed a conflict of interest statement.
Why did the city get involved in what was a private property fight? Is it because of the political strength of the neighborhood?
No, I don't believe that would be the reason why we are involved. We're just looking at different avenues to get to an endpoint, which is to revitalize and bring back Cimarron to what it used to be, or something that is beneficial for the whole city.
We've gotten involved in stories about economic development fights in towns all across Texas. Down the road in San Benito, our questions about the city blocking development prompted city officials to call the cops on us. The city manager threatened to sue us for harassment. We're still waiting. The golf course fight in Judge Cuellar's court? Well, it's dragged the city into spending tax money now on lawyers too. Records obtained under state law put the city's legal price tag so far over $63,000. Black Diamond sued the city, claiming the city was trying to improperly protect the golf course that runs through Cimarron by messing with the zoning. That lawsuit's still pending. And so far, the city has blocked any attempts by Black Diamond to build new homes, new business, more tax dollars. All apparently because this one neighborhood lost their private golf course and their country club. Restoring it now, we're told, would cost someone millions.
It's about $100,000 in green, about $50,000 a tee box, and about $250,000, $300,000 depending on if it's a par 3, 4, 5, on the length of the fairway and the roughs.
Want to spend tax money to buy it?
No, we're not going to spend tax money on a private venture. And that's my thought. So.
Very good. All while the legal battle rages in Judge Cuellar's court over a golf course and country club that her kids grew up in, that she belonged to. It doesn't help that the Perales France law firm representing the HOA gave Judge Cuellar $15,000 in contributions, $2,500 just 2 days before the HOA sued. But that pales to the involvement of the father of the judge's children in a court case she should not be in. They're all conflicts, even in the Rio Grande Valley.
The corruption down here is just unbearable.